Welcome to WoolWunder. Thank you for choosing to watch this video and welcome to my channel. So, have you wondered what this WoolWunder is about? So, as the name suggests, we will be going through the crochet basic techniques and some unique products which we can create. So, if you're interested in crochet and the craft using the wool, please do subscribe and continue on this journey to explore different patterns, different wool types, and how to crochet from the basic level. So this video is about the basic crochet stitches which is needed for any project that you start. Let's get started. The first stitch for today's video is going to be the chain stitch. So to begin with the chain stitch, you put the yarn into your two fingers in a crisscross manner and put in your needle from top and pull out the other side. And we get this knot from where we can begin our chain stitch. As you can see, this is a very simple stitch where you just keep pulling the yarn into the loop using your needle slowly and steadily, which forms like a braid like pattern. This is what is called as a chain stitch. This is mainly considered as a foundation stitch for most of the projects. So as you can see, the tension of the rope that you are holding on the other hand determines how your chain stitch follows. So if you keep it a bit loose, you get these loose stitches. But if you just tighten the yarn on your left hand, then you get the tight chain stitches. This can be done based on the requirement of the projects. For some, you may need them to look tight so it looks very neat and have a very good look as an end product. But for some projects, you might have to have it a bit loose, so you can use this foundation chains to build the upcoming rows for your project. I will explain you the consequences of doing it tight or loose, then it would be more clear for the understanding. So as you can see, we can keep doing chain stitches as per the project you need. So we can see here I have done close to 20 stitches, and yeah, we will begin with the next stitch for the day. The next stitch is called as the single crochet. As the name suggests, you just do a single stitch on each of these chain stitches. So here we usually do not start with the first chain that is immediately after our needle, the one which is pointed out. We usually skip this chain and start our stitch in the next one. So I just put the needle through the next chain, pull out the yarn, and we now have two loops. So we pull the main yarn into both of these loops at the same time. And here we have our first single crochet. See, it's very simple. So let us do it again. Just pull in the yarn, pull out. We have two loops and just pull in the main yarn through both together. It is a very basic stitch which is used in multiple projects, especially amigurumi projects where you create these dolls and other three-dimensional crochet projects. This is where we have to be very careful. We tend to leave out one layer of the yarn, which gives you a little bit untidy look. So in order for your project to be very professional and neat, you have to do it very slowly and carefully. This is one key tip for any stitch in any product. So let's do another one. You pull out and pull in through both the loops together. Let's get started with our next stitch, which is the half double crochet. So here we have just an additional step from the single crochet where we twirl our needle into the yarn, creating another loop and repeating the step again. Now you have 3 loops and you pull the main yarn through the 3 loops all at once. Let's do it again. Yarn over, pull in the yarn from your next chain and pull out the yarn through all 3 loops in one go. This is called as half double crochet. So as you would have already guessed, our next stitch would be double crochet, which is again a small variant from this half double crochet. So we pull out the yarn the same way, pull into the next chain and pick in the main yarn. We have 3 loops now. Here, instead of pulling through all 3 together, we pull through the first 2 and now we have 2 loops where we pull into the next 2. So it is 3 loops, first 2 and then the next 2. This is called as double crochet. As you can notice, now we can see the difference between each of the stitches very clearly. So let's do double crochet again. Pull in through the first 2 loops and then the remaining 2. This is how you do a double crochet. So as I explained in the initial part, the chain stitch is very important because if your chain is a bit loose, you will see big gaps when you do this double crochet or further stitches on your foundation chain. So we have to be very careful if your project is going to be very tight, opaque, or it can be with a small holes here and there. So based on the project you do, the chain stitch plays a very important role to acquire the expected output. So here you can see we have gaps here and there wherever the chains were a bit loose. But where your chain is very tight, now you can see an example where you have a hole. That means your chain stitch was a bit loose. So when you pull over, it creates a hole. But do not worry, it can be adjusted very easily depending on the yarn that you use. So another example, if your chain is super tight, is where you find it a bit difficult to insert your needle and pull out the yarn. We have to try it slowly with our help of our finger or nail and slowly push in your needle and pull out the yarn very carefully. Here you can see it is super tight and that the difference is shown in each of your stitch. So keep in mind, we might think chain stitch is such a small step, but this impacts your entire project. So we have come to the end of this video. I hope this was useful for you in some way. So any crochet lovers who are struggling to find where to start with, this is the right video for you. So please do follow me for more such content, and in the upcoming weeks we will be upgrading to small projects, and then parallelly we can also start with the amigurumi. So thank you for spending your time and watching this video. We'll catch you up soon. Bye bye.